Can everyone hear me?
Okay.
Okay, so thank you, Chelsea. Thank you to the gallery for having me here. And if everyone, some people at the back, there's a couple of spare seats if anyone wants to move forward. And today I'm going to talk about marketing yourself using social media. Put up your hands if you use social media at the moment. Okay, so maybe about half of the people. So how many people here think that they know a lot about social media, or enough to get them by? Okay, cool. Okay, so we can learn a lot today then. And so what I'm going to do, as Chelsea mentioned before, I'm going to give a talk first for about just over an hour, and it's going to be like a social media one-on-one. So we're just going to go through a few basic things, just see a few of the top social media channels to use. Then we're going to have a break for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to work together to create social media marketing strategies for a week for, say, an artist or musician, or some other suggestions that we have from people. And I have handouts, so get excited. So, what's social media marketing used for? It's used for many different things. For brand awareness, engagement, connecting with your community and building your community, and understanding your audience better. And what's so great about social media? It's really great to be able to connect with people in different ways, and to be able to use online. As long as anyone has internet, you're able to connect with people, and the majority of people on the planet now have internet. It's always evolving, so it's really great to keep involved and to keep up to date with these things. And definitely it's overwhelming how much it is evolving as well. And social media is really great. If in particular you're an artist working on a new exhibition, you can show behind the scenes. This is where I'm at the moment, this is where I want to be, and if you follow me on whatever channel, you can see where we're at, and you can get involved in the process. And it just gives a bit more of a connection between you and your audience. And it focuses, like I said, on the process. So instead of in the past, you'd be like, I've got a book. Now it's like, I've got a book. Watch me as I take photos of the book, as I create the illustrations, as I do this and do that. And it recognises the power of a creative network. So before you said, this is what I've got, and you promoted it via media where it was just one-to-one. And now it's more one-to-many, and also them giving you something back. So social media is cheap-ish and easy. It used to be a lot cheaper, say 10 years ago, and it's changed quite a bit. One of the things I will talk about today is about Facebook reach and how that's changed. Social media, it's a great cost-saving way to promote what you're trying to promote. And because so many things are cheaper now, like you can get video cameras, microphones, editing software, and all these different things so that you can create something, you can edit, and you can use this to spread your information to many, many people. And by utilising this, it's become very mainstream, as most of us are aware that social media marketing exists and there's lots of things to do online. So how? One of the things I'm going to say a lot today is about commitment to doing something. As with anything you're working on, you need to set some sort of goal and you need to commit to getting that happening. So that's the biggest thing that you can learn today, I hope, is that you need to commit to something. And you need to create and share high quality, relevant content that's highly visual. That's also a really important point, highly visual nowadays. And it needs to promote shareability. So you need someone to see what you're sharing and go, hey, this is great, I want every single one of my friends to follow this. So if you think on those sort of lines whenever you're trying to share something. And it takes over 6 months to develop an online position. So if you've got a book coming out next week and you're starting to market yourself on social media now, hey, you might be able to do it, but I would definitely suggest if you start, say, 6 months before you're launching something. And I would actually say it takes more like 1 to 2 years rather than 6 months now. Now my background is in various different things. Like Chelsea said, I was going to be a rock star at an early age, so I've come from the music scene, promoting myself a lot with music. I have a website called Leigh-Chantelle.com that's music and also a lot of my writing. I started a online vegan health and education and activism and animal rights website called VivaLaVegan.net. And I release calendars, ebooks, I do a lot of videos. Anything you can think of online is probably on my website, VivaLaVegan.net. And I also have run a not-for-profit called Green Earth Group. We put on 2 environmental festivals in Brisbane, 2010 and 2011. So I have a background in all these different things. And I work with different people and have different clients. I create content for people to share online, and I also implement these into a marketing strategy. And I also love talking about my favourite things too. So, how many of you recognise or know the names of every single one of these icons? I'm not going to ask you what they are, but how many of you know? Or maybe a half? Maybe? Yeah? Okay, so this is only a small section of the social media channels that actually exist. There's hundreds. So we're only going to focus on a few. Facebook, Pinterest, Google+. This is an RSS feed, which is relation to blogs. We'll get into that later. Twitter, also YouTube and Instagram. And this is a little site called Blogger, so we'll talk about blogs as well. These ones here, MySpace and Instagram, that green one. There's a heap of others as well. So they're the ones we're going to go through. Now, everyone here, how many different social media channels do you actually have? Put your hands up if you have more than 2. So say you've got a Facebook and a Twitter, more than that. Okay, that's pretty good. So do the rest of you have 1? How many have 1? That that's LinkedIn. That's right. And so what we're going to do is just go through each one specifically, and we're going to start with Instagram. How many of you have an Instagram channel? Okay, cool. And so for each one of these that we're going to speak about, I've put the website link right at the top of each one. So if you're not aware of the website, if you're not aware of that channel, you can go onto that website, you can find out more, you can see what other people do as well with that. This is image-based. So this is where social media is going now. It needs to be more visual and image-focused. And it's owned by Facebook now, so a lot of the things that you can do on Instagram are put right over to Facebook. So if you use Facebook, Instagram might be a good thing to use with that because they work very well together. 90% of people that use Instagram are under 35 years old. So if that's your target market, then that's a really good place for you to start. Now, social media in general, you've seen a rise in 55 to 65-year-old community. So this is one reason Facebook in particular has seen a rise in the older community. This is one of the reasons they bought Instagram, is because they want to connect back with the youth. And mostly women are on Instagram. You can share photos and you can share videos. And I found this really interesting. If your dominant colour that you use in one of the photos that you use is blue, you'll have a 24% increase in likes. So that's a tip. So Instagram videos, they go for 15 seconds long, which is only small, but it's just a good way to show just a basic thing of what you're doing maybe. And as I was saying before, with Facebook, best to use on Facebook. There's also another video channel called Vine, which is only 6 seconds, and that's best to use on Twitter, which we'll speak about later. Now, most people, have you heard of hashtag? Or like the pound symbol or the hash symbol that we use. And for most social media channels, it's a really great way to get involved with people and to share different things. We will speak about hashtags later. And most people, they say, don't use any more than 5 hashtags when you post. But on Instagram, There's a hell of a lot of people that use a lot more than 5, and the maximum that you can use is 30, which freaks me out. But yeah, you can use that many. And I've just listed the ones all along the bottom that are the hashtags that are the most popular. So if you have a new Instagram account, you want to get a few more followers and you want to get a few more people to interact with you, I'd suggest that you use some of these hashtags at the beginning so that you can, yes?
Just wondering, did you say there would be a handout so that we could get that information or email it out or something?
Not this particular information, but that's a good way for me to tell you if you'd like to join my mailing list and put PDF next to it if you like PDF.
Yeah.
I can send you all out the files that I've done today.
Thanks.
So we'll have a handout, but it won't go through in detail like this has.
Thanks.
Okay. Next one we're going to go on to is Pinterest. This is one of my favourites actually. I really love Pinterest. The reason I love Pinterest, a lot of people like Pinterest versus Instagram. The reason I really like Pinterest is because you pin something. So say you have a website and you've got a blog, you've written a blog, you've shared a couple of links to a book you're writing, to some paintings that you've got in the gallery. You go into Pinterest, you install a pin it button, and you press the pin it button, and it pins the image on that website or on your page onto Pinterest. Now when someone goes, hey, I really love that image or whatever it is that you've shared, they click onto that. And when they click onto the photo, it will actually take them to the original source of that photo. So I find that really great because if I'm promoting something on my blog, it takes them right to where they can find the blog, for example, selling one of my ebooks. Now, Pinterest is also image-based. So similar to Instagram, and their international traffic last year went up by 125%. This is one of those social media channels that's just creating a lot of buzz at the moment. How many people here have a Pinterest account? Okay, cool. So more than Instagram. And this is another good thing with marketing and sharing is 80% of the pins that are actually shared online are repins. So it's not original content. So if you share something online, the majority of people would probably share that and repin that rather than just sharing your own thing. So if your main sort of demographic that you want to really directly target is women, people that have children, and suburban people with higher incomes, this is a really great area to focus in is Pinterest, and also people that use tablets. And they have, if you have anything you want to sell online, this is a really great tool to actually sell. You can put in dollar amounts, so if you put $30, it'll come up on the pin as well how much it is. And these, Facebook is just a bit less than Pinterest. And people like Martha Stewart have seen Pinterest become a lot more bigger for their web interaction if you look on your Google Analytics. And I've seen a lot more Pinterest from my websites as well than Facebook. And another thing that I really love is that less than 1% of the posts on Pinterest have a negative tone. So it's very positive. A lot of the other social media channels can be quite negative. So I really like that aspect. And if you want to know some things to get involved with, these are the most popular types of pins down the bottom here. So crafts, quotes, recipes, food and drinks, weddings, fashion, heaps of this. And in particular, if you relate it to a tutorial, a guide, or a DIY. So say for example, you want to show someone how they can make a cupboard. So you just can create an infographic or an image that actually shows the steps of the creation of this cupboard, and those sort of things would be shared quite more on Instagram, and a lot of people do like those. The next one I'm going to talk about is YouTube. How many people here have a YouTube account? How many people watch YouTube? Yes, definitely. I do at least once a day. I love YouTube. I I create one of my series that I do on vegan.net is every Tuesday I do a question and answer series. So I answer questions that people ask. What's wrong with dairy? Do you only date vegans? In very informative Q&As like that. So this is another thing. Regular content is always the best to do, and people know that I'll be there every Tuesday with a different Q&A. Video based, and it's the #2 search engine on the internet. That's next to Google. And 80% of the traffic comes from outside of the US. And a lot of people watch things on mobile devices. So if you have a website, it needs to be able for people to use it on mobile devices now. Per month, there's a heap of hours that people watch. And now, a lot of you have to link to a Google Plus account. If you create a YouTube channel, you have to link it to a Google Plus account. And so if you have a Gmail account, that's the best way to start with that. And this is really good because when Google Plus and YouTube are linked together, this has much more of a reach. Because not only are you getting YouTube people, then you go, oh hey, she's on Google Plus, I'm going to follow her on Google Plus, and vice versa. So this is the most engaged traffic next to Google Plus and LinkedIn. And which means someone's staying on the channel for longer, they're interacting with people more, they're commenting, they're liking something, and they're sharing things more. And the most popular types of videos, if you really want to get onto YouTube, anything related to music. So if we have some musicians in the room, you really need to be on YouTube. Anything that's cute, so kids or babies, pets or animals, anything that's weird, and definitely really offensive comedy. And Twitter, this is one of my favourite channels also. I do have a few. And how many people here have a Twitter account? Okay. And so Twitter, I really like Twitter because I'm a speed reader scanner. So I can just go, I like that, open 20,000 tabs and look at them later. So I like Twitter for that. Facebook to me is just overwhelming with the amount of text that some people share. So I find Twitter really good. A lot of people use Twitter as a news place to get news. I know when I travel overseas, I use Twitter to keep up with the Brisbane or the Australian news. And as I'm a massive AFL fan and follow the Brisbane Lions, I like all my AFL information on Twitter. And a lot of people that use Twitter use it from mobile devices as well. So it's just a really easy way, and that was how it was created, to be used on your mobile. I just actually read Biz Stone, one of the co-founders of Twitter. He wrote this really great book called A Bird Told Me, I think it was called. And if you want to get inspired by someone that thinks outside of the box and that's really creative, I suggest you have a look at that. Turn your phones on silence if you have not. So this is like a lot of people who use Twitter in urban areas, and there's lots of different things you can do on Twitter. Now they've changed it to be a lot more visual, so you've got a banner like you sort of have with Facebook as well, and you can pin things to the top like you can with Facebook. And keep in mind, if you have an account on Twitter and you want people to take you seriously, you need to have more followers than people you follow. Next one is Facebook. How many people here have a Facebook account? Yes, it seems to be the most popular. How many people have more than one Facebook account? Okay. With a lot of these channels...
There's Facebook Business as well. You're going to mention that?
In regards to...
Well, that there's a difference between personal Facebook and Facebook Business.
Well, that would be called pages, so there's different pages that you can create. Is that what you mean?
Well, so my mentor just mentioned it to me, and I thought, well, maybe this is a chance to find out what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm really talking more about pages or like a professional sort of side rather than the personal aspect of Facebook. But this is no number one for the amount of profiles that people have in the world. As much as people can't stand Facebook at the moment, I'm one of them. As much as people have so many security issues with Facebook, and there's just so many things that are changing, Facebook needs to be making money now because they're on the stock exchange. So you need to really still be on Facebook. Whether or not people see what you're posting on Facebook, that's another thing we'll get to. But yeah, you still need to be there. So number 2 for profiles is Google+. Now 20% of internet page reviews actually come from Facebook. That's pretty massive. And 46% of internet users are on Facebook. And it was a younger demographic, like I said before, but it's getting to be older now. And 70% of adults are on Facebook. There's quite a few good things that Facebook can do. So like you mentioned before, if you have your own page and you want to say, I'm playing a show tomorrow in Sydney, in Newtown, I'm going to target that to people that are around the Newtown area, and you can actually do that. You can do that with ages, and you can do that with other things. So that's pretty good. You can also pin and highlight things on Facebook, and you can add milestones. And you can do this anytime. Say, for example, we started our company at this time. I released my first CD at this time. I had an art gallery exhibition at this time. You can add all those milestones, and in particular, if you add a photo or videos with that, that's really good. Yeah, you can join groups and network with people in that way. So, who has Facebook and has noticed quite a change in the amount of people that are interacting with them on pages, or even with people that used to see all their things and are not seeing them anymore? People notice that? This has been a massive thing, and this is why a lot of people are leaving in droves from Facebook, because what used to work 5 years ago just does not work anymore. And for example, organic reach, I'm saying, this is being slashed. So say if you have 1,000 fans that follow your page on Facebook, only 3 to 5% at best of that 1,000 will see your posts. Now that's ridiculous, but keep in mind, this is one of the best tricks in the book. You get someone to join to a free product, get them addicted to this free product, and then we're going to charge you, or we're going to do things that we're making money from you. So it's not as if it's anything new. But this is a big thing a lot of people ask me about all the time. So I just thought I'd give you a few tips on things like this, and this definitely relates to pages, not necessarily personal profile pages. If you have a profile page, a personal profile page, there's 1,300 items that come through in your newsfeed. So that's the bit that comes down and shows you all the things your friends or your family are sharing at any stage. So 1,300, that's a lot, and it's very overwhelming. So they've changed the algorithm, which means what is more important to this person, what does this person interact with the most, and what would they like to see the most. So the only thing that you will ever see 100% of the time is if one of your friends has a baby. That's it. So if you really want someone to see what you're sharing on your page, you need to pay for it now. So and I'm not talking about, you can do like, I've got a new book coming out, I'm spending $50 on Facebook for that week for us, or that day, or a couple of days. That's a really good way to do it. But I would suggest for people, just to see what people are actually interested in the most, if you focus on each post that you feel is important, say 3 a week, that you put $5 on per post. Now, if you work out through the analytics that you can use on Google+, which one of these has the most interaction, they're the things you should focus on making more of and posting more of. Now, keep in mind, it's always going to be $5 per post, and you're targeting the same type of people. So you're targeting the same age demographic, the same area, the same interests. Keep everything the same except what you're posting. And then you'll see, oh hey, everyone likes it when I do these like vlogs on YouTube, so I'm going to make more of those. And that's what you should focus on. So this will work out what your audience likes the most. And then keep in mind this paying, like I've said at the bottom, it won't necessarily get engagement. So people might see it, might come up on their feed, but it doesn't mean someone's going to comment on it, it doesn't mean they're going to share it at all. So you need to create quality posts for engagement across the board.
You announce the birth of a new idea and we concert every time you get it on the set.
See it.
Make it like a birth.
Birth
Birth of a new idea.
Try. Let me know how that goes.
Alright.
I've never heard that.
What are you recommending as an alternative to Facebook if we're not wanting to invest finances?
Well, see, this is the biggest dilemma we have at the moment, because the majority of people are on Facebook. So you need to be on Facebook. So if you don't have the money, if you don't want to pay, I would suggest Google+, YouTube, Twitter, but you know, and you will definitely get to people those ways, especially using hashtags. But I still do think you need to be on Facebook, and I still do think you need to be posting, even if you're not paying $5 for every post. But do those posts get seen? So, you know, do you want to put all this time and energy into posting things that may or may not be seen? That's the question. You just have to work that out. Google Plus. This is what I'd suggest instead of Facebook. I absolutely love Google Plus. For me, it works. Like for my vegan page, I have over 46,000 people that follow me on that, which is like similar to how many people are in the Australian Army. So I find that quite and Google Plus. If you think about Google in general and what you use Google for and how many things are related to Google, sooner or later this is going to overpower Facebook. I loved MySpace years ago. That's been replaced. Everything changes on social media. So the more you're using these things and just one of these things, it can be replaced and something else could come along. And yeah, it's projected to pass Facebook in social shares in a couple of years. This is the fastest growth per year at the moment, and it's male dominated mostly. Very techy in some aspects. 68% of male users, which can put some people off, like the tech aspects of it, but it's just like anything else really, but there's a lot of other things you can use Google Plus for. The thing that I loved before as I was talking at YouTube is it links to YouTube. So on my Vegan page, there's a little tab at the top that links to videos, and if you click on videos, that'll go straight to it'll show all the things from my YouTube channel. So you're getting more viewers for YouTube, and if someone sees something on YouTube, they're showing that I have a Google Plus account as well. So Google Plus has double the engagement of Twitter and is a close second behind Facebook. And yeah, like YouTube, Gmail, so many different things people use Google for. And if you just keep in mind, Google Plus is Google. So sooner or later something's going to happen with it. And a lot of people have found that things are happening at the moment. And I put this little formatting thing up here. It's going to be on your handout as well. I find this really cool. So if you want to put a post or something, you can put bold or italic or strike through bits of the post. So that's pretty cool. And these are all the things. I don't know if you noticed the other sort of things I've mentioned about the other channels, but there's a hell of a lot more things you can do on Google+. Google search, Google authorship. You can link from blogs you write to this. It comes up better in your search engine optimization when someone searches for things on Google. In particular, if you're signed in to Google+, you can go straight to a person. Like say you're talking about, I want to find out about networking, and you find someone comes up and they've written all these articles, you can go directly to their Google+ account. There's Google Docs. There's some things called Hangouts and Helpouts, where say for example, we were talking about teaching music online. You could do a help out where you could do, hey, pay me $50 and I'll show you how to, learn a couple of chords. And you can do private and public communities, which is similar to groups on Facebook. So this is, I would suggest, this is where a lot of people need to be focusing on. Whether or not they pay in the future, you need to pay. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Who really knows? But yeah, that's the favourite at the moment. So what channels? Facebook and Instagram users sign in every day. So if you're sharing a lot of things, if you want a lot of people to see things, maybe you need to focus on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, I would suggest Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus would be the main three that I would focus on. And also you can link things. I use a program called Hootsuite, like the owl. And I schedule the majority of my posts. So you can do things like that. You can schedule on Facebook as well what posts to do. And if, say for example, you can link Twitter and Facebook together as well. So if you post something on Facebook, you can go to Twitter. So you don't necessarily have to go to each channel to upload things or to post things all the time. And as I said before, the 55 to 64% age bracket, fastest growing demographic at the moment. These are the users on social media. So look, there's a heap of people using Facebook. 1.23 billion people using Facebook. These are the active users though. So have a look at the different, that'll be on your handout. That's Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. Time spent on social media. In Australia, we spend 14 minutes per hour on social media networking, which is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? So really need to focus on visuals at the moment. 43% of things are shared online in photos, then you've got hyperlinks that go to articles, and then videos also. I've got that on the sheet too. So you need to stimulate engagement and shareability. That's the key sort of things. It needs to be high quality, relevant, and highly visual. They're all key terms to think about. So engagement, shareability, high quality, relevant, visual. And you need to be proactive with your engagement. So like I was saying before, it's not like the old system of marketing where it was one-to-one. Now it's, I'm saying this thing, I'm saying it to my social group, and you want to be commenting back, you want to be interacting with people. Remember, there's a word in there, and it's social, so it has to be social. Create more visuals, make your posts shorter. If you're on Twitter, keep them really short, because if you want someone to retweet it, if their username, for example, is 20 characters, you're going to lose 20 characters of what you posted. So keep those sort of things in mind. But really good things to offer promotions or codes, discounts, contests to your followers. Ask questions, respond more often. To connect with people, use the plus, which is a Google thing, or the @ which is the majority of the others. And also hashtags. Join communities and groups if you're just starting, find out what other people are doing. And that's a good way to create a network. See what's trending and popular too, which is really good. You know, write a blog about something, share some hashtags that are popular, and collect email addresses too. This is really important. And you need to be creating your own space and your own domain, and we'll get into that more. All of these things we've just gone across, you don't own any of those. If Facebook doesn't happen in 5 years' time and you've got a massive following on Facebook, but you don't have any email addresses for that, what are you going to do? How are you going to get anything out to those people? Yes?
So I'm not quite with you. How do you get, if I'm interacting with people on Facebook, there,
Yep.
I also need a private email address.
Yeah, so you can, like, say for example, you could do something like get a free ebook, and if you give me your email address, I'll send you a free ebook. Or you can add some little things where you can link, like, for people to join your email list as well. And if you have a website, this is really good. Just share, join my mailing list, or subscribe to my mailing list. things like that, call to actions for people to do that.
And where does that come up when I'm looking at the screen on my Facebook account?
They're all different. So you could share. So say, have you got a website or?
No.
Okay. So say for someone that has a website, you could share something that links to their website to subscribe to their mailing list. You might use a program called MailChimp, M-A-I-L chimp, as in chimpanzee, and you can put something on Facebook that you can create a mailing list through that. Maybe if you don't have a website, I would suggest to use that. And it'll come up, along Facebook you've got like photos, likes, all like at the top, and you can add it to come up in there as well. I'm just giving like a overview of things, so that might be a bit over a few people's heads, but if I do training with more intense stuff, so if people want to know that, maybe see me later, or I've got my little Epicenter Equilibrium cards on your channel, and I have brochures and that. Okay, let's move on. We need to share. If you're a photographer, for example, you should be sharing your images, get people to see what you're doing. But you really need to watermark them or do something, because people will use what you've got, and they may or may not claim it as their own, but they might not know it's yours. Say if you're in a band and you've got 4 different people in the band with you, taking your turns to post stuff, so that not one person is doing everything. It's a bit overwhelming, and you can share different things and interact with people in a different way. I was talking about Hootsuite before, and I would suggest you schedule updates. Not all the time, but as often as you can. You need to be able to measure your return on investment. So I'm doing all these posts, what am I getting out of it? Who is it going to? Who's sharing these things? Who's commenting? They're the things that you can see. So Google Analytics is really good to use if you have a website that relates to more. You can also link that to a few other channels in some cases. But if you have a look at how many people share things, comment, like, +1 or retweet, that's a good gauge. So share visuals. If you have events coming up, share that. You can teach and you can sell products online. And if you have a social media channel on YouTube, share it on Twitter. That join our YouTube channel. And if you have a website, email signature, all these different places, make sure that you're sharing your channels. So you've got all these channels, how do people know about it? Share it every time you can. Put it on your business card, put it email signature, put it on your website. So many people don't put these things on their website. First thing, you need to encourage people to like things, to +1 or to retweet. Here's the best posting times, and I have that on the handout. For Facebook, Wednesday 3 p.m. is the best. Twitter, Monday, a lot of them are Monday to Thursday from about 1 to 3. Google Plus is work hours. Pinterest, Saturday mornings is really big for that. And Instagram is later in the afternoon, 5 to 6 p.m. particular Mondays. But as you can see down here, the worst sort of times. So anything probably after 5 or 6 is not, you're not going to have that much interaction with. If you have an international audience like I do, then you have to keep those things in mind. So you might be having to post a lot outside of those times. Here's hashtags. Hashtags are really good to interact with other people, to find people that are following similar topics that you are, and to find relevant things. What's happening? What's trending at the moment? World Cup's trending at the moment, for example. It's a content label, and it started on Twitter, but now it's used across all platforms. If you want to get involved if you're just starting a channel, if you want to get involved, I suggest you use one of these hashtags that already exist that are quite popular. A musician, use Music Mondays, Motivational Mondays. There's a lot of different things that you can get involved with. I'd suggest if you have a new product, you start your own hashtag. Make sure you check if it exists first. There's quite a few people that have used ones that already exist that are not really related to what you're promoting. and keep them short. Don't use symbols. Say for example, I do my question and answer series. If I put Q symbol for and A, people are only going to see the Q part of the hashtag. So you go Q and the word A for that. And share these across all your social media platforms. On Facebook, hashtags actually have their own unique URL, so the link to the page. So you can click on that unique URL and you'll get a feed of all the different ones that relate to that. For example, music. On Instagram, if you don't use hashtags, no one's really going to see what you're posting anyway. That's why a lot of people are using 30 hashtags at once. Hashtags on Google, I think that's really cool. Sometimes they show up in search engines, and you can have, it'll show you the original and ones that relate. And it even, if you don't put a hashtag in, it will intuitively choose its own. So I think that's really cool. Anyone have questions about hashtag?
Can you explain the concept to me? They put the hashtag in brackets before the word, after the word.
So you can go, see these ones here? Music Monday. So you go hashtag Music Monday. So if you click on that, anyone that also uses that hashtag, all their posts will come up as well, other people that use that.
But do you have to use uppercase or can it be all
No,
lowercase?
it can be all lowercase. I like using, I like separating the words just so you can see it, but although people don't really care about capitals anymore, do they?
Some of the old pedantic people like me.
Yes, me too. Here's some to try. I have a series on my Leigh-Chantelle website called Write Short Wednesday where I wrote like short prose or poetry and things like that. Flashback Fridays, and there's one that relates to Thursday as well, similar. They're good to get involved with as well.
Excuse me, have you got any spaces between those, or you just use the capital to distinguish?
There's no space.
Yeah,
If there's a space, you'll only see what's before the space.
yeah, absolutely.
So it needs to be all together. That's on the handout. So what do you need to share? There's so many things. Where do you start? So it needs to matter to you, it needs to matter to others in your area or the people that you're trying to target. You need to provide value. So what am I getting? Why would I follow this page? I don't want to just see spam from them all the time about buy this, buy that, buy that. I want to go there and say, oh hey, they create amazing blogs, they create the best articles, they create really informative videos, and I can learn something from them every time they share something. That's what people want. You need to have something meaningful to say, and if you know your topic well, then you should be able to. And know your audience. Think outside the square and have a unique focus or approach on that. Here's some ideas, and I have that on handout as well. Create conversation. So ask questions, encourage answers, educate and inform, podcasts, transcripts, ebooks, articles, things like that. Visuals, photos. These really focus on visuals, guys. Photos, images, infographics. Link to your website. If you have a website, people need to see it exists, so start linking to it. Gauge opinions. Ask for opinions and feedback. Entertain. Share podcasts, presentations, music. Be inspirational. Everyone loves a good quote. So for example, one thing that I did, I have an upcoming book called There's a Vegan in the Kitchen. I've got a couple here that you can flip through if you like. Thank you, Chelsea. It's lovely. And so I had, this was a collection of calendars that I released 2005, 6, 7, and 8. And we created a book. So one of my friends designed it, a friend in America illustrated it, another friend took photos. It was all my content. And I wanted to get a new title. So online, I said, look, I'm looking for a new title for my recipe book that's coming out. Give me some ideas. We had a lot of ideas come in, so I got the top 10. I put them on a program called Survey Monkey. If you're doing surveys or anything like that, I'd suggest you look into that. And then people could, out of that top 10, they could say, hey, I like this the most. And the one that won was There's a Vegan in the Kitchen from Jim in Launceston. Here's a heap of ideas for photos. So just, like be creative, do something a bit different. If you've got a team, if you've got staff, take photos of them doing something. If you've got fans and followers, get them to interact with you, get them to share their photos. That's a really good way. A lot of the biggest sort of companies, mega sort of companies have been doing things like that, getting other people to create their own content. And moving video, caption this, cute photo of a puppy running or something, caption this and you can win something. You need to be consistent, commit, be consistent. You have to be doing stuff all the time, you have to keep up to date with things, you have to create new content. It's very hard to create new content. A lot of people find it quite overwhelming, that's why I do it. Update regularly, and be online to answer. Like I said before, if you're just saying stuff to people, they're asking a question, you need to be able to respond to them. And have good time management skills. Set expectations so that okay, every Tuesday I'm doing this video, every Thursday I'm doing this blog, every Friday I'm going to share a photo. Post regularly. Like a lot of people, when they get a new social media channel, a new blog, they're like, oh, I'm going to post every single day and it's going to be great. And they post every single day for a month and then they completely burned out and then they don't do anything. So work out what you can commit to. Say, something, at least one blog or one post a week. That's a pretty good way to start. I'm going to do that for a week for the next 6 months or the next 3 months. And then I'm going to see what happens from that. If you can do more, that's great, but just keep that basic sort of line in place of what you want to do. And so be creative, don't spam. It's really annoying. One of the rules, share at least 5 times more content from other sources before you share your own content. That's a good one. But like if you're only sharing a few things and paying for them on Facebook, obviously you're not going to pay for other people's posts. And people learn more from visuals, so share a lot more visuals, mix it up. So an idea is to share something different each day. So for example, on my Viva the Vegan website, Monday to Thursday we have different articles. I have different writers from all over the world. Monday's health, Tuesday's environment, Wednesday's animals, Thursday's fitness. And then I have a blog that I do every Wednesday. I do my Q&A video that posts to YouTube on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I share a blog about that, and on Friday it's a podcast. Now keep that in mind for our workshop as well. And anything you can think of that can go to different channels or can be resubmitted or changed into something else is really good. So if you focus on these sort of things, so say, for example, Monday is an article and that comes from your website or your blog, and different things that relate to it. And remember, if you're sharing something, share it across all social media. Putting something on YouTube, say on Twitter and Google Plus and Facebook, hey, I've got a new video, make sure you check it out. So I give talks about online etiquette because it's one of those things I'm very passionate about. We were talking before, people have no concept of what they're sharing or what is like a good thing or what's not, especially all the younger people that have just grown up with sharing every single thing. And you just have to be really careful. In particular, if you're a business, in particular if you're a person, this is what people are seeing is you. And if you're spelling things wrong, if your grammar's wrong, if you're putting a horrible statement about something up, it's destroyed. There's been a lot of things that people put on Twitter and they just don't think about what's going to happen. Make sure if you've got, say, 4 different people in your company all posting, everyone needs to be on the same page. This is what's okay to share, this is what's not okay to share. Everyone needs to be aware of that. And yeah, one of the main things with online, if you're not going to say it to someone's face, if you're not going to post it on a postcard that many people could see when it gets posted around the world, don't say it online. Pretty simple. And just consider what people are going to think about your company or you as a person or an artist when you share it. Don't abbreviate, don't use slang. Just because you know what it means doesn't mean I do. So just keep that in mind. You want to be able to relate to every single person that reads it, not just a small percent who know what ROLF or whatever they all say nowadays means. So, online etiquette, courtesy to others. And words are so powerful. I love words. And they have the power to inspire, and they also have the power to really hurt and harm other people. So just be really careful. And anything you create online can be viewed by anyone. Whether or not it's set to private, someone will be able to find it. And it may never go away. Something like that guy that did the bubbling thing where you urinate into your mouth, that's going to be online all the time. And other people that do horrible things online. I just saw a lady that was saying racist remarks on a train in Sydney, and that's going to be online all the time for her. And that's so embarrassing for her family. And how's she going to get a job now, really? That's one of her issues, was she couldn't get a job. So that does not work very well for you. Everyone's got a phone nowadays. Everyone can film stuff. Be careful what you're doing. At all times, really, hey? Job recruitment agencies look at your online reputation before hiring. If you like a lot of pages on Facebook that are really offensive, racist, just, rude, someone sees that and they have, a lot of multicultural people that work with them, your chance of getting that job's pretty slim. Think about unsuitable photos that you have. You wouldn't believe the amount of people I see that post photos of them with their car with the license plate showing, or at the front of their street with their street name on it, or the front of their house with the number of their street, or that say, hey, I'm going away for 2 weeks. Oh, great, come over to my house and steal my stuff. So just remember, what you share online is the only thing you have control over. So make it worthwhile, make it good, and make it inspire people. Use it as a marketing tool for you and your life and your future success. I've got top 10 tips. This is for one of my articles I wrote. The top one, this is on the handout. And the top one, which I just take across all aspects of my life actually, it's one of my mottos. Act, don't react. Keep private matters private. Use correct spelling, grammar, punctuation. Be careful what you share. Be conscious of who will read your posts. If you don't want your grandmother to see things, don't post it. Think about your grandmother, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend. All these different people could be seeing what you share. Be your kind self. If you're not kind, about time to learn. Keep your passwords secret. Report cyberbullying. Credit someone if you use something they've created, which really doesn't happen a lot nowadays. And take responsibility for everything you do online. Has anyone heard of the term 1,000 true fans? Put your hand up. This is a term that has been used in the art and music community for a while. And it just means that if you can actually get 1,000 true fans, you can make a living in that way. So your true fans are people that will purchase anything you do, that will go anywhere that you have an exhibition, that will share anything you do. And it's really amazing to have those sort of fans. Pardon?
Imagine thousands of those. Yeah.
Yes. And you need to connect with people to create these fans. It's really. Has anyone heard of the Dresden Dolls, a band from America, or Amanda Palmer from that band? If you have not, I suggest you Google Amanda Palmer TED Talk, TED Talk. She talks about, she was one of the first people that actually made over $1 million US for crowdsourcing or crowdfunding, which is I don't really have time to talk about that today, but it just means you're asking people to help fund. She was helping fund an album, CD, that she was creating, and you give $30 to this, and you get a CD out of it, or you get something in the end from it. So it's not, you're not asking for a handout. You're asking for money towards whatever they're creating. And this is, if you'd like to help fund something, this is a really good way to do it, and also RETA. And she's amazing with her the people that love her and the amount of love that she has for people and vice versa. It's just amazing to see the connection she's made with her. I like to talk about creating a tribe, and she's really created this massive, amazing tribe. This content, this connection, once you've had it, you need to maintain this, like any sort of relationship. Thanks for sharing what you did the other day. Hey, I really appreciate that comment. Something like that with people. And if you're not the sort of person who can do that on an ongoing basis, then you need to find someone who can manage your relationships. How do you connect then with these people? So, owned media. Now this is really important. Like I said before, though all the other things we've spoken about are not your own. Facebook is not your own. So owned media, I strongly suggest that you focus on. This means your website, this means your own content. Earned media is stuff that you've worked online to get and you've achieved it. So for example, organic reach, which means like say on Facebook, if you post something and then a certain amount of people will see it, versus if you paid for it and then more people will see it. SEO stands for search engine optimization. It just means that certain terms that you use in your content on your website, for example, are seen maybe over and over. You mention particular things over and over, and that shows up further in your search results for Google. Social media is also on this, and your email or your mailing list. Then there's paid media, which is advertising, whether or not that's online or print. That's on your handout. So to do this, you need to set goals and commit to it. So what are you going to do? What do you want to achieve? Know your audience. Where are they online? Be realistic with what you can commit to and actually stick to it. Combine all these different things together. So your own website, email marketing, paid marketing, and social media posts. It's not just one thing. You have to combine all of these things together. And be patient, be persistent. It's not an overnight thing. It's not going to happen in 3 months. As I said before, at least 6 months, but probably realistically 1 to 2.
Well, that's the same as startup of a normal business, isn't it?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So, creating a tribe, like I mentioned before, email is still the best way to convert customers. So, say for example, you want someone to buy your ebook. So this is what you were asking about before. So you can offer free ebooks, link on your social media and on your website. And you need to build your digital assets. That just means anything online that is your own. And by creating that, this is a really important point. By creating your own content, you're showing that you're the leader in that market and you're not a follower. You're creating content. People are going to you to see that original content that you're creating. That's what you need to be thinking about. So this is what I was speaking about before with my Q&A series I do. Multimedia content that can be shared across many different avenues. So say for example, for a lot of clients that I work with, I create different things for them. So for example, we're going to do a Q&A with someone that's promoting their business. So I'm going to film them on a video and they're talking about specific things about their business. What do you stand for? What do you do? What are your ethical sort of views, or where do you stand with the ethics in the community? From that video, it's one thing we've created, we can transcribe that. And then that becomes a blog. That's 2 things we've created. If you detach the audio, that becomes a podcast. So that's 3 things you've created. And also, that blog or the transcription can become an ebook. So out of that one thing, you've got 4 things that are your digital assets. And each of those 4 things can be marketed and promoted to a different audience. So, your digital assets. These are your own. You create them. This is one of the things I do all the time, is create digital assets for people and myself. This is on your handout, so you don't need to write this down. But the most important thing is your website or your blog, because you own that, in particular if it has your name in it. Content, articles, blogs, ebooks, social media, videos, podcasts, presentations, audio, sound, and think about a website or things that are actually able to be seen on mobile platforms, because a lot of people are seeing things on mobile now. And you need to link to the store. So I'm going to talk about websites now, which is very important. Like I said, you need to own your own domain name, and you can get these things online. Check out, just search for domain sort of website. And this is your place that you can showcase your stuff. So this is one place where everyone can go that can find out everything they need to about you. I was talking about search engine optimization before, and for example, if you're an artist, you can use specific terms that are in every blog that you do. For example, fine art. You mention that in every blog or everything that you do. Then if someone's searching for fine art artists on Google, it will come up higher. And in particular, this comes up higher if you have a lot more information that you're sharing. Like you're sharing a different blog. Your website needs to be always constantly moving and not static. So if you keep those things in mind, that you're always creating stuff, you will have a higher chance of coming up in Google. You need to, and that's related to the relevant keywords. A lot of websites, I'm not sure if you've seen, but say you've got, Leigh-Chantelle.com/6972146.html. Or you can actually put the words in, like Leigh-Chantelle.com, writeshortwednesday.html. So if someone's actually looking for something about writing on a Wednesday, that will come up more than the numbers would. Does everyone get that? So make sure all your information is updated and all your links work. You would be surprised how many people don't do that. So here's an example. This is, you're one of the first people to see this. My website's just being updated at the moment. So this is my Leigh-Chantelle website here. And if you look, I've got all these different things about me. So I've got a news section, which is like a blog, the about section, speaking training, my writing, community music, and a shop. Just a bit of a blurb here, and my contact and about, and each of these things here relates to my different social media channels. So you've got Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, Bandcamp, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Just under that, I also have a place where people can join the mailing list. So you also need options to share your online content. So for example, on my Vegan website, at the top of every article or blog, it says, there's a little widget that says share this on, and it's got 20 different social media channels you can share it on. Is everyone okay to keep going for about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Next thing is what a blog is. And a blog is just web plus a log equals blog. I just might go through these a bit faster. It's entries or posts that are more informal, so they're not necessarily articles. It's focused on particular subjects. So for example, you can follow an art blog or a photography blog. RSS feed here means rich site summary. So if you have this RSS feed, it can come up and people can follow that blog or the article, and you can also do this for podcasts. People can comment sometimes on blogs. These are a list of all the blog websites that can host your blog if you don't have your own website, for example. WordPress is used a lot, Blogger, Tumblr, all these sort of ones here. So if you wanted your own blog, I suggest you check out at least one of those. Why you need a blog is to market yourself, build your platform, be seen as an expert in your field. Remind your followers that you're still here. If you only put out a CD every 2 years, what are you going to do in between to let people know that you're still around, that you're still actually creating things? It's good, you can automate posts, and it's good to get feedback and comments from people. And blogs you can actually make some money on blogs as well. Some people make quite a lot of money. You can have through AdSense, affiliates, and products like ebooks. Blog traffic. A lot of people read blogs in the morning. Mondays, if you want to know when to put a blog out, Mondays would probably be the best, around 11 a.m. And I found it interesting that more men read blogs at night than women. Not sure why. How to blog, like everything, commit to it. Have a strategy, keeps those goals. Find out what people want to read, what they want or what they need. You need to provide value, provide resources to people. If you're just starting out, connect with some other bloggers in the same field as you. Some people that have a really big following, and just to offer to write a blog for them. Share your content on every way that you can. Podcast. Does anyone have a podcast here? Does anyone know about podcasts? So it's just a downloadable audio, and there's also visual files that you can have. And it started mostly for iPods. So podcast means iPod plus broadcast, podcast. They can be episode series or shows. You can subscribe through the RSS feed that I spoke about before. They can be free, but a lot of people can charge for them as well. You can choose your own topics to follow. And it's really good because you can listen to it whenever you like. Download it to your mobile device, and you can listen to it when you're on the train, when you're on the bus, when you're trying to sleep. Why should you have a podcast? Because it's an easy and powerful way to communicate with people all over the world. Once you've got something online, anyone can listen to it anywhere, and anyone with an internet connection. Easy to record, upload, and share, as minimal equipment is needed, and you can advertise your expertise to groups with specific interests. So say I talk about vegan stuff, so a lot of people interested in veganism come to my blog. You can create podcasts. You need different things. So you need specific equipment. Microphones, headphones, recording equipment. If you have an iPhone, you can just turn on the microphone and you can create a podcast like that. That's really simple. Software to record, you can use GarageBand, that's a Mac thing. Then you need to write, record, and edit it. So some people can talk for a while about different things. Some people just, okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to focus on this for 10 minutes. And then you need to export the correct format. For example, most places ask for MP3. You need to know how to do that, you need to write a description, and you need to provide artwork. And then you need to publish and submit it. So you've done all that stuff, but you need to put it on a hosting website. And I use Podomatic. You can also use SoundCloud and Archive. And then from that, once you've created that, you'll get this RSS feed. Sorry, we're going to pull this a bit fast. So when you get that feed, you actually can then submit that feed to directories like iTunes, like Stitcher, like other ones, and then you can share that. It's just another way to get your ideas out through different channels and different things. The information that I spoke about today, I've got through from all these different websites here. I had an article, Online Etiquette, and another article, Why You Should Use Social Media to Support Your Cause. There's a couple of websites I suggest you check out. Jeff Wooler, Social Media Examiner. They're two of my favourites. And if you really want something cool to look at, you can watch social media and internet figures in real time. This website called Penny Stocks. So if you want me to send you all of this on a PDF, just put down your email on my mailing list at the back and just write PDF next to it, and I'll make sure that comes out to you. And you can connect with me on all these channels. So I made this really cool keynote presentation, but the Mac wasn't working today, so sorry you didn't get to see all my really cool transitions. But so Leigh-Chantelle, Episense, Equilibrium, and Be Will Vegan. So you can connect with me on all of these channels here. And now we're going to have 15-minute, maybe 10-minute break. And then when we come back, we're going to have a handout with a lot of information. We're going to work through that, and we're just going to work on creating a marketing strategy for a week for particular types of artists. What we're going to do...
Can I go through there or?
Yeah, can you walk
If everyone uses the handout that you've got, that's going to also help us with what we're going to do. What we're going to do is work out a week's marketing strategy that we're going to share online. Now, what we've got in here is one little handout. We've got ideas of content to share. We've got hashtag ideas. You've got ideas for creating and sharing, like the Monday through the Friday. You've got some ideas of your digital assets to share. You've got best posting times. So from all that information we've got on there, we're going to work out days, times, and what we're sharing. So I need your help with this. I want to know that you're listening to me. And what we're going to do. So what sort of, if you'd like to yell out like a particular type of artist that you are, we can maybe work on that. Songwriter. So, like, so a musician. So maybe we can focus on a musician, and we can do, say, what times do you think would be the best times for me to share something?
Midnight for a musician.
Based on the information that I have in the handout, what times do you think would be the best to share?
Music Monday.
Monday? That's very good. So times, I'll start with 11 a.m., 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Now I've had Music Mondays. So that's a hashtag, that's an idea of what we can get involved with. What specifically are we going to share on a Monday that relates to that?
You can give reports on concerts that are on the weekend or gigs over the weekend, or even on the road.
You can do whatever you like.
I've got no time.
So, some musicians in the room, what would you suggest? What would you like to share?
Photos from the gig you just performed.
Pardon?
Photos from the gig you just performed.
Yeah, that's great. So we can have, I might just abbreviate MM for Music Monday, and we're going to have a photo from the gig. Now, do you think 11 a.m. is okay to do that? So we could go 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. as well. What are some other ideas that we could do?
I can't do the board of social here, but is the first one advertising a gig?
Advertising a gig, we don't have that, but we could add that.
Advertising a gig for the weekend.
So maybe you've shared the photo from the gig, and then you could even, it depends on how much space you have and on what channel you're using it, but you could say this was a gig from the set I played at Lock and Load in West End, and next week come and see me at the zoo. So you could do that on one post, or we could separate them as well. So we could do upcoming. What do you think about having two things on the same day that relate to each other?
You could put music from the gig on 1 p.m. and then put the upcoming in the afternoon, maybe.
That's a good idea.
Especially if it was something on that day. It might be a Monday night, the next one.
Exactly.
Or a week away.
You're cross-marketing all of these, aren't you? It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole
Well,
thing.
that would be another question that was coming up, which we can go to now if you like.
Okay.
Is where should we post that? 11 o'clock on a Monday morning.
Isn't Pinterest the most popular for a photo? For sharing photos?
You should share photos every single place that you can. Photos and visuals are the best thing you should share. So Twitter, Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all of them share videos. Does anyone have any ideas based on the best posting time? Pardon? Okay, so at 11, Google Plus. But like we've just mentioned, video, images and visuals are good for all of those. So I would definitely suggest that you post it on all of them.
Will you do video with the music or something?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a video as well, or video. And then, so throughout the rest of the week, what other suggestions would we have? So we've got a photo, we've got a video for an upcoming gig.
Competition or competition?
What sort of competition? That's good. So free tickets, maybe where should we share that? Where would you like to put it on the web?
YouTube.
Maybe Wednesday, 1 p.m. Free tickets. Good enough? So free tickets. Now I would probably suggest that we do, say, because we've got a couple of visual things here. So say, like for some of my clients, we would put on a video on Monday, a photo on Wednesday, and a link on Friday. So maybe you could think of those sort of things, get that into your headspace.
No, that's all right.
So like, you know, and if you sort of plot that out, that you know every Monday I've got to share a photo, or every Thursday I've got to share a video, then you know what to create, and you know to create it with enough time for that, for example. Anything, so what's another artist type that we could, pardon? So an artist. So what would you suggest? What would you share? Okay. So like you've created it, you're in the beginning stages, where would we share it from? Okay. So any particular time you'd like to use? This is what I do with myself and with clients. I would put, and I'm a visual person, so I would put these things down, and I like to be able to explain it to someone too in this way.
Yeah.
So I would say, okay, you've got 5 different things that you want to share throughout the week. These are the dates we're going to do those, and you can share other things throughout those times.
Yeah.
You can share at different times. There's no problem with that whatsoever, but for this specific task, it's more related to just getting you to think about the times that are the best to be putting information online. And if you think, you know, in regards to how many people you will be able to see it, it's better to do something where more people are going to see it than less. So it's just like, and this is why scheduling things is good as well.
What's the problem with putting something up earlier than your time slot, so it's there for the interaction that happens?
Well, because the majority of people just see things when they're posted. A lot of people use mobile devices, so they're seeing things when it comes in front of them. So, for example, when I was saying before about Facebook and Instagram, people go on daily.
Yeah.
So, other channels that we've mentioned, people don't go on daily.
Right.
So, you're posting something on a Tuesday here, someone's not coming on till a Thursday. Are they really going to go through back and see what you've posted? Or are they just going to see what's up on their newsfeed that's the most recent?
Okay, so they don't
Number
scroll
2.
down.
And this is another thing that relates to your own content and having your own website. So say, for example, every month, at the end of every month, my Vegan mailing list, it goes through everything I've created in that month. So it's got, these are the latest articles, these are the latest podcasts, videos, So I've got that to the followers that know these are the latest things, because if you have something new, you can share it as many times, because someone hasn't come on a Tuesday when you've shared that. So then, okay, say for my my Q&A that I do, I share it on 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, on Thursday at 5 p.m. and Saturday at 5:30. So that goes across to different areas throughout the world. And a lot of my, I have a lot of people that follow me from LA, so they'll get that at 5 a.m. on Saturday. You can work this out yourself, what's the best time. Like, give this a go as a guide, but you can also, with the analytics and stuff that it will give you on there, oh, more people are interacting with me at 3 p.m. on a Friday, so you post more things at that time.
And you're posting it close to that time so that it doesn't get swamped with everybody else's multiple posts.
Yeah, also another tip, probably like 11:10 or 1:15 or something. It's probably not better to do it right on the dot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I was wondering, things like work, you're not supposed to keep Facebook with work.
Not surprised.
So wouldn't that be a better time making your people on the phone?
Well, if you have a look at the time spent on social media per hour in Australia, 14 minutes every hour people are on social media. That's maybe, but a lot of people have their phone on them all the time. So, like if you have a phone in your pocket, a lot of younger people too have their phone with them when they're working. A lot of people always have their phone on. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people do things on the computer, but you have to, like, as I mentioned before, a lot of people are using mobile devices, so you have to think about those too. This is a guide, like, make it work for you. You know, do your own sort of research and work out what works best. I think I might just wrap it up there. So thank you everyone for staying. And yeah, make sure you put your email down. I'll send you the video, and the PDF of this too, so then you can absorb a bit more. And yeah, this was just an overview of everything. So if you need more help, or if you know someone that needs more help, I give a lot of talks and training for people too. So thank you everyone.